Hemiarthroplasty in fresh fracture neck of femur by Dr. K.J. Reddy.
Academic atmosphere. Thank you once again for your team. Hari, I think he's busy signing his certificates. I think we request everyone to stay in the hall and also kindly switch off or make your mobiles in vibration or silent mode. Thank you. It's a good publication. I think it's an example for everyone to do original study and have publications. Very, very important. No point in doing so many surgeries without publication. It's only publication that take you long way. We ready? I think they're changing the laptop. So I'm going to discuss about hemiarthroplasty in fresh fractures, fracture neck of femur, intercapsular fractures, which is very common. I'm sure most of you have done many. I'm going to talk a little bit about the controversies on controversies, especially in hemiarthroplasty, because so much of literature on it. Okay. The whole idea is to increase the complications, try to achieve the pre-injury level in a cost-effective way, low morbidity, and reduce the incidence of reoperation with long survival of the prosthesis. Yeah, I'm going to briefly say about indications, technique, complications, and maybe little about literature. It's a simple surgery, leads you to early mobilization with a short hospital stay, probably with minimal complications, and especially if it's done properly in elderly people, gives a good survivorship. And of course, it's cheap. I don't go into classification, but the main indication hemiarthroplasty would be a displaced fracture in elderly people. I would say elderly because survival of rather life expectancy of Indian population is going up to 65. So maybe 60 and above we can do this surgery. I think all the postgraduates and youngsters should see this algorithm, how to treat intercapsular fracture. Implants, I would use the half of total hip implants. So I use the stem head and put a bipolar component on standard THR stem. And many companies, every company does bipolar heads. The position, I do anterolateral approach, that's London approach, with supine and sandbag. So patient will be lifted off about 40 degrees, maybe 40, 45 degrees. So you can see easily. And the important thing I think you can see from there, I have a pointer. The position is very important because I've seen many people struggling throughout the operation because they did not position properly or they ignored or left to somebody else. So it is important that you position or someone who you trust should position. And whichever position, lateral or anterolateral, the buttock, I can see the other side, support should be on the bony prominence. It should be on the bony, not on the soft tissue, otherwise it will move. Opposite side, put the support to the iliac spine and lift the buttock up, put the sandbag under the buttock so that the fat of the buttock falls over the sandbag. And same time, under the chest, because patient will be twisted if you don't support the chest. So elevate the chest to make it square. And of course, draping, it's very important you drape, exposing the iliac crest and expose. Did we get a pointer? No. Okay, no problem. No problem. Pointer. It's very, very important. You don't need a big incision, but if your incision is center of the acetabulum, should be center of the acetabulum. When you retract, it should look like a rectangle. Okay, no. And expose the head. Yeah, no problem. Expose the head. I can use this one. Expose the head. And if you're doing, because it's like a total hip replacement. So if whatever remaining neck, you should use the template, cut the rest of the neck or resize it. Most of the time you don't have to cut it, but you resize it. And of course, measure the size of the head for the bipolar component. And you put the stem as you do a total hip. And put the head, 22 millimeter. Most of the time, you should be able to put 22 millimeter head. And put the bipolar head on top of it. And again, it's important. In the knee, we keep saying about soft tissue balancing. It's also important in the hip. Soft tissue balancing is very, very important. I don't do Austin Morse, but this is one of my colleagues. Done very well. You can see. Balancing very well. Both lesser trochanter, same level. That means good length as well as soft tissue balancing. If we use a large head, what happens? It causes pressure necrosis of the cartilage, leading to protrusio. If we keep it too tight, that means if you lengthen the neck, again what happens is pressure on the acetabulum leading to pressure necrosis and protrusio. If it's too lax, what happens? The incidence of dislocation is high. So something like that we can do. The biggest problem with this population is most of them are elderly, most of them are multiple medical problems, and their mobility is not great. So the mortality is very high. Some of the registries, some of the CPOD, one of the NHS registry, reported up to 30% of mortality within 6 months. That means every third patient die in 6 months. So you should be very careful looking after them. I think there's a lot of debate. I think Uday is going to talk about total hip for fracture neck of femur. Though technically young people, the THR will have a better functional result, but elderly people still a bipolar, cemented bipolar is the gold standard. There is a good evidence to say that expertise, especially experienced surgeon doing, will have less morbidity, mortality because of the reducing operation time. Cost, as you know, the cost is quite expensive. Not only the implant, but hospitalization, post-op care, so you have to keep that in mind. Again, this is a little article to say, though there is more blood loss in total hip replacement, but the functional outcome may be better. This one, another study showing randomized study, bipolar with the total hip, though the functional outcome is better, but most of the surgeons practice bipolar for fracture neck of femur in elderly population. As I said, the lifespan of Indian population, this was 2011 WHO, is gone up to 65, whereas of course UK, America is 70. So elderly more than 50, probably 60 you can consider for this surgery. And it's interesting, this one is interesting, that survival of the implant is very good. If you do 60 and above, it will last their life. And the revision, most of the time our belief may be acetabulum, because metal against the cartilage, the erosion, incidence of erosion will be more, but the results other way around. 99% survival of the acetabulum after 10 years. Dislocation is quite significant complication, so you have to keep that in mind. And of course, this is another study showing hip replacement with this one, like previous one. Hemiarthroplasty, there's a lot of debate whether unipolar or bipolar. Scientifically, literature-wise, there is no difference because what happens is, theoretically, bipolar will have less incidence of dislocation, probably movements at two planes, which will disappear after some time. Most of the bipolars become unipolar after some time. So there is no significant difference. Though the reason I do, or most of the people do bipolar, is if at all they need a total hip, you don't have to revise the stem. You take the bipolar head out and put cemented or uncemented cup in. That's the advantage. And the disadvantage, one of the disadvantages of bipolar is, most of the time it's dislocated like this. It needs open reduction. It's difficult to get a closed reduction of dislocated bipolar. Cemented versus uncemented. Again, these are debatable. There is no significant difference. Though the risk of cement, in a cemented bipolar, there is incidence of sudden cardiac arrest on the table if you use a cement in elderly people because of the monomer. But it's very low incidence. The problem with the uncemented stem is most of the people will complain with anterior thigh pain. So you have to keep that in mind when you're doing an uncemented stem. Though I do sometimes uncemented stems for bipolar hemiarthroplasty. This I think we discussed. There is a literature saying that though the uncemented do better, but you have to keep in mind that they will complain for some time, though the anterior thigh pain is not forever, but till the osseointegration, they will have some degree of anterior thigh pain. I think I'll leave this one to Uday, but you can still do THRs in young people, especially with rheumatoid. But the problem is, unlike in osteoarthritis or AVN, the hip is lax. Unless you have good balancing, soft tissue balancing, the incidence of dislocation is higher. If you take osteoarthritis or AVN or rheumatoid arthritis, the incidence of dislocation is higher if you do a THR for a fracture neck of femur. So it's a simple surgery. You can mobilize them early. Short hospital day, most of the time they go home on third day, second or third day. Low complication rate. And bipolars do survive, a very good 10-year survival rates. And of course, cheaper as well. Thank you once again for your attention.
Thank you, sir. Now, sir, please, Dr. K.J. Reddy garu, please accept a memento from Dr. Prashant.